Welcome to a special update edition of Camo Office Hours. I'm your host, Eden from Camo, and I'm here today to talk about our latest Camo Studio for iPad update that just shipped last week. So before I start walking through what's new, as always, I'd love to know where you're joining us from and if you've downloaded the latest iPad App Store update from the iPad App Store yet, which I highly recommend that you do, especially if you'd like to follow along. Um, Brusco is saying that it's 107 degrees every day. Here in New York, we're dealing with a heat wave. I know the UK had a heat wave over the weekend as well. I hope everyone is staying cool. Stream profiles from sunny Edinburgh. Hopefully the heat wave was okay by where you were too. That everyone is staying hydrated and staying cool. Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen, great to see you as always. As always. Hello from India. Saeed, what's up? All right, well, 30 degrees C is pretty hot, but I will take that compared to the 95-degree weather that we have right now in Brooklyn. It's amazing. Really, really love it. Neil, what's up? Good to see you as always. And Armud and Sergey, what up? Can't wait to see what's new. That's the energy I like to see. I did so much work promoting this live stream, and we finally have some new things to share with our audience today. So I'm really excited. I know that I've been promising an update for you guys for forever, and I finally get to talk about what's new today. Casual games. Are you getting hit by the heat wave too? Because we're in a heat wave until about tomorrow. So hanging in there, hanging in there. Ernesto, good to see you today too. Oh, we have the Camo community in the house today. I'm so glad to see everyone here. And the highlights of our Camo Studio for iPad 2.2 update is an updated gallery experience. Sorry, I'm probably going to say update like 5,000 times today, but I will try to keep it to a bit of a minimum. Is that we have an updated gallery experience that includes a new explore section, which is quite possibly the most exciting thing about this update. I also am personally a big fan of the UI refresh because we were trying to squeeze in a lot of features with the UI we had before, and things were getting a little cluttered. And so we've done a little bit of reorganization to make things make a little bit more sense and improve the navigation. So hopefully you guys will notice that and definitely want to hear your feedback on the UI refresh and all of the new features, because now there's also a built-in feedback mechanism inside of Camo Studio for iPad, which I will be demoing all of this. Just going to check in on the chat again because I see a lot of people rolling in right now. Good guy, good to see you, and everyone. Anthony, good to see you as always. And Briscoe, buzzword. Yeah, you know, this is my life, okay? I feel like I can make it through an entire podcast by just saying buzzwords and see if anyone notices whether I said anything at all. Ballard Vibes, great to see you. Great to see you in here. We've made quite a few improvements, and I know you've been one of our biggest Camo Studio for iPad supporters, so hopefully you will like the updates and share your feedback and what you think. All right. 8 updates so far. Okay. Yeah, please keep a count. I would love that. Oh, I should have set up an update counter. That would have been... I'm going to look into setting up like a counter for how many times I say something. That would be funny. Like is the popular one because everyone knows that like is my crutch word, and I say that a lot and I get called out on it also quite a bit. Today is that next time Eden always talks about, you know, we needed to be called out on it. My product team is going to see this and they will see that people are interested when we update things. So yes, today is that next time I will be sharing about an update. Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen. Okay, you couldn't start a live stream on YouTube even after the update. That is a bummer because we did make a lot of improvements in streaming and regarding web overlays. This update also has a bunch of bug fixes. So that's really annoying and I'm really sorry to hear that. Did you get an error message? Because we need to dig into that. Please write into us at support@reincubate.com Or if you just want to share in the comments here because that's easier, I can catch the notes from the replay later. So yes, okay, it says error message saying internal error on YouTube. Okay, that's one of the issues that we were hoping to fix, but yeah, I will definitely let the product team know that we're still having people running into issues. I think we have your email on file already, but I will try to reach out because I think we might need some logs from you. All right, so as always, you're welcome to drop questions into the chat anytime. Today's live stream is focused on what's new in Camo Studio for iPad. If you have general questions about Camo Studio for iPad or Camo Studio on macOS or Windows, I will save them for later. So, 13? Only 13? Are you sure? All right. Have you guys gotten the update yet? Okay, no, I can't inflate my stats. I will use the word update organically only. All right. Update counter is active, and without further ado, I am going to start the much anticipated iPad walkthrough of the new features. All right, so here is my iPad scene. As you guys can see, you may have already noticed a few things different than before. The first thing I want to show off is our new gallery experience. There's been so much hype about it. I have been spamming our social media accounts with the new update, the new gallery experience. So let's take a look. So to check out the new gallery, there's a few ways to get to it. The easiest is using the scene panels. So this little 4 squares at the bottom right of the screen is where you can open the scene gallery from. And we have some brand new template scenes. The ones that we had before were a little bit outdated, so we wanted to update them. We hope to update our default scenes and or add them to our explore section a little more often, a little with a higher frequency to give you guys more to look forward to when you open up the app. So these are our new default scenes. Dreamy, you might recognize from before. Dreamy is the only one that made the cut from the, what's the word for it? Original default scenes in Camo Studio for iPad. But these are the new default scenes that show like quite a bit of utility. And the most exciting thing about this update is this explore section right here. So you can see that they're organized into categories. Let's take a look at them one by one. For streaming, we have this new set of scenes that we hope you will love. But if you don't love them, feel free to let us know too, because we want to know if we're on the right track. And the only way to do that is to know if you guys tell us what you like. So as you can see, these first 3 scenes already have check marks under them, which mean that they have already been added to your Camo Studio. So I'm just going to pop back over to my collections right now. So this is where you can see all of your scenes from. And if I go back to the explore section, these 3 scenes were already in my collection. These scenes here are the new explore scenes for streaming. I'm a big fan of this gamer tag one, and while you're checking out the explore section, if you see a scene that you like, you just hit this little download icon and it will add it to your studio. So now that I've hit that little check mark, I'll go back to all, and you can see that it is available for use in my studio, and it is ready for me to customize. Let's see, let's get a game scene on here to make it, to match the vibes a little bit better. This one, no camera, but I will fix that by putting myself in this little circle here, which is secondary video source. Change it to a circle. Oops, gotta unlock the aspect ratio. There we go. This is a very small circle, but Okay, even smaller. All right, there we go. New scene, straight from the explore section, ready to go. Let me put it in full screen so you guys can see the new scene that I just set up from one of our new explore scenes. Where is that? There we go. All right, coming back to the gallery. What do y'all think of this gamer tag scene? I really like it. I feel like it has like very Twitch vibes to it. So that's, yeah, this is probably one of my favorite out of the new explore scenes. All right, I'm just gonna check in on the chat and see if anyone has shared any feedback about our new scenes. Yo, you are such a real one. Thank you for watching on both your iPad and the TV. That's right, Brusco. Brusco says Vasu is doing the Lord's work. I appreciate you. James Hicks. I was just thinking about you today because it has been far too long since we have done a collaboration show and we need to fix that ASAP. I will be reaching out to you very soon. And that is a great question. Are there any vertical streaming options for themes? So we did not get any vertical streaming ones into default scenes into this update, but we are working on it and you can still create vertical streaming scenes. I will come back to that later because I'm going to finish walking through the gallery, but we don't have them built in, but you can still stream vertically. So I will let the product team know that people would like some vertical streaming templates. I definitely do because I want to do more streaming in vertical. Actually, speaking of which, I would love to know if you guys are mostly watching on your computers or if you're watching on mobile, and whether you think we should experiment with some vertical live streams. Maybe they're not our office hours, but it could be just like sort of hanging out while I talk through some video tips. If that's something that y'all would be interested in, I would love to know in the chat. Anthony, you know me so well. And yes, that was a K-pop artist cosplaying as Miles Edgeworth. I'm literally working on an edit right now for One Us as Ace Attorney characters. Hang tight. Yo, that is the best comment I have ever gotten. So, yes. I know, I was so tiny in that scene. Maybe we need to make it updated so the little circle is a little bit bigger, because I feel like it might just be like a little bit too tiny, but it's still a cool scene. I think we can maybe edit it to make it the profile picture slightly bigger, maybe. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, Valor Vibe saying that they look good. That's exciting. Rock J, Z, and BMC, good to see you here as always. Lloyd Wizard, thanks for coming to hang out. Thanks for coming to hang out. Brusco says the times Eden is saying update is at 18 currently. So I realized I was saying update a lot at the beginning of the show. I know some people are just trickling in right now. And so we're playing a little game of counting over under how many times Eden says update this time. Okay, so Saeed says team horizontal. That's good to know. I'm mostly horizontal. I'm most comfortable with horizontal streaming content. I'm used to being at the computer for it. I know I can stream vertically from the computer as well, but it hasn't been really something that I've done yet. So curious if that's something that people would be interested in. A friend of Camo, Lala, Mommy's Guide, who does crafting streams, she does hers vertically, and they do seem to be doing pretty well. So vertical live streams would be good. Yeah, vertical live. I'm seeing a lot more of vertical live streams on YouTube lately. So I think that will be something for us to consider. All right. Mauricio Rojas, thank you for your question. Are we able to use an Insta360 X5 camera for 360 live streaming using Camo? So that is a great question. I do not have my hands on an Insta360 X5 yet. I know that the X4, the previous one, there was a little bit of tinkering that you had to do to get it into webcam mode. I will look up to see if that option has a little bit more flexibility with the Insta360 X5. I know that a lot of people had raised to Insta360 that they wanted to be able to use their cameras as webcams. So hopefully we will have to get our hands on an Insta360 X5 and do some testing, but I will definitely put a note that people are interested in using the Insta360. Their 360 cameras are pretty cool for live streaming. All right. Ty, good to see you today. Thanks for coming to hang out. As always, we are walking through some of the new features, which I will get back to. I will check in on the chat again shortly, but y'all know I'm a little bit ADD, and so when I see the chat popping off, I always want to like see what y'all are saying. Okay, so we looked at our streaming explore scenes and added one of them. The professional scenes are up next. So these two were already the default scenes, and these other ones are just kind of like more professional looking scenes that you might use for, like, I know a lot of people use Camo to do training videos for work. So these options would be really good for work related things, or not even training videos, but just like internal work videos that kind of like have your, this sidebar one has like this nice little overlay that sort of segments your screen a little bit, or just a name tag and a logo. And same with the streaming scenes earlier. To add one to your studio, just click this little download button and you'll see it show up in your studio. So this Explore feature is something that we're really excited to share, and we'll be updating the content in these scenes, filters and backgrounds, hopefully on a more regular basis. And we will need y'all's feedback to let us know which types of scenes y'all feel like y'all want more of. So next up is our social media template scenes, so you can let people know where they can find you. We have the LinkedIn tag, Facebook, Twitter. I still call it Twitter. The Instagram and the Discord. Instagram and Discord. Did I just like put the in front of the social media platforms like I'm above 50? I promise you guys I'm not above 50. I just had a moment there. But I think these social scenes are really nice to have on your screen so people can know where to find you. And very similarly to before, just tap once and you will see it show up in your studio. And last up in the Explore section for now is the utility scenes. So these utility scenes are aptly labeled as having a good function, which are labeled actually by their names. So like the blank scene just means it's totally blank and there's nothing pre-set up for you. The alignment scene and the head and shoulder scenes are really nice because let's check these out. So this head and shoulders one, oh, that's Connie cosplaying as Miles Edgeworth. But if I switch to my front camera, this scene can help me get centered. So the iPad is a little bit tilted because I was messing with it earlier. So let me just untilt it. There we go. Okay. So the goal is to like fit yourself into the head and shoulder as well. Do I just have like a big head or something? Or am I just too zoomed in? Let's see. Let me turn off framing and zoom out a little bit. Boom. Head and shoulders, perfectly centered for a talking. It's perfect for like a talking scene where you are the main subject and that you want people to pay attention. So centered, head and shoulders. Let's also take a look at the alignment one. So I'm actually a pretty big fan of this alignment one because it's a little bit more of like a range for where you should try to stay, and it is the center third that you should stay in. So it's actually not that different from the head and shoulders one, but I feel like this one is not necessarily just for a person. You can kind of use it to make sure that like the other things on in your scene are framed nicely. But yeah, these are our utility scenes. We would love to know which scenes that you feel like you would be the most likely to use, and like which category of scenes you think we should add moving forward. So before I switch over to filters, I'm going to pop in on the chat a little bit. And Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen says, I'm doing vertical live streaming more often from the cooking channel. Okay, so we have people doing vertical live streams. And what's it gonna take to see the Friday mailbag? Listen, I am pushing for it. That would be so much fun. We got to get that on the agenda. Thank you for your kind words, Ty, about our explore scenes. Let us know which category you feel like we should add more. Yeah, Brusco, okay, I know. I'm sorry for calling it the Discord and the Twitter. That's how I exist. And yes, everyone still calls it Twitter. Thank you. It just feels weird calling it anything else. Like yeah, it's distracting. So Rock, Jay-Z, and BMC say I can link all these socials. So the socials won't actually link to the scene itself, but you can customize it so that the scene like says your gamer tag or your handle. Let's take a look at this Instagram one. Okay, so all of these are configured to have the back camera as default. And so from here, you would go to the layers tab and oh, there's two ways to do this. You can either add the text manually or you can personalize it by adding your social handle here. Although the personalized feature is only a good option if you have the same social handle across all, oops, I was just trying to type on my computer. If you have the same social handle across the board, if you have different social handles for different platforms, I would definitely recommend that you just add them in manually, like using this add text feature. Hopefully that clarifies things a little bit. And Saeed asks, is the Head & Shoulders one sponsored? Hashtag product placement. It is not sponsored, but maybe it should be. Maybe it should be. And Ty says alignment is good. If you want to crop, that's a great point. Yeah, the vertical one is good if you want to crop it as a vertical piece of content and repurpose it later. That helps make sure that you are centered. I move around a lot. You guys know that I cannot stand still. So that was a good one to help me remind me that I need to like stay in one place. The good guy says the streaming scene most likely is one that you'd be likely to use. All right, I'm definitely letting the product team know that's one of my favorites as well, and that we can hopefully add more streaming scenes, especially like I like the ones that have kind of like a more modern, futuristic vibe, Tron vibes. Even though Tron originally was from like the 80s, but there was a new Tron movie, and I feel like those are the vibes I'm going for when I am trying to set up a stream scene for gaming. That's the sentence I was trying to say. All right. So as a part of the updated gallery experience, the galleries have been unified into this one window. So you can switch between the different galleries using these little button tabs up here in the top left. This one with the 3 circles is the filter gallery, and this icon is the background gallery. So I'm just gonna walk through these a little bit. They work in the same way as the scene gallery that we just checked out with the explore scenes. So the categories you will notice are a little bit different because we did adjust them for each gallery section. We have our everyday ones here, and the ones with the check marks are the ones that have already been added to your studio. These are sort of the just like cool, warm for helping you calibrate your video color. The cinematic category are the ones that have a little bit of a more dramatic vibe, like the black and white. The two strip has kind of like that old school filter that a lot of movies use when they're like flashing back to like 15 years ago. And this back in the machine one has a kind of like futuristic vibe. So those are your cinematic filters. Do y'all use filters very often? I'm very curious because other than like the warm and the cool filters that I use occasionally, I'm not a like really big filters person. And I was just curious if you guys are using filters and how you're using them, because I mean not a color grading pro or anything, so maybe I just need a little bit more insight into how I can make them work for me. But I do really like using some of these everyday ones. The cool and sun-kissed and warm all give like a really nice vibe, and as with all of our camo, as with many of our camo features, we have, if I pull up this sun-kissed one, it comes with a slider, so you can customize it to be very intense or just kind of subtle. Okay, and so also regarding the scene gallery, I mean the gallery, the new gallery, the updated gallery experience, there's a few different ways to get to it. Earlier, I pulled the gallery up from using these four corners in the bottom right to pull up the scene gallery. But since the gallery is now one window, you can also get to it from filters by going to the filter gallery. This will take you straight to the filters. And yeah, so these are our Explore filters. Let us know if you're using them. Your feedback really helps us know what type of assets y'all are most likely to use and where we should be focusing our efforts. So I'm always grateful to y'all that come hang out with me in our live stream, because y'all always share such useful insight into how y'all are using camo. So this is no different, especially regarding an update. The camo community feedback is the most important to us, because that two-way communication is my favorite. And yeah, so everyday filters, cinematic filters, utility filters, these are our Explorer filters. All right, now that, before moving on to backgrounds, I'll check in on the chat a little bit. Yeah, I like that gamer tag scene. I think that might be my go-to one for demoing from now on. Simply Austin, thank you so much for your kind words. We hope y'all are liking camo, and let us know what y'all think of the feedback of the update and what features you would like to see. Feedback and feature requests. I have an exciting new feature to share a little bit later, but we have a new in-app feedback mechanism. All right, so good guys not using filters. Ty's also not really using filters. Casual Game says, using filters to lighten up game footage on darker game scenes. Okay, that is really good to know. That's a great tip, actually. So to know that you can use filters to lighten up game footage, because some of these games out here are so dark. It's like they're optimized for watching on a TV in a blacked out room, but it can be really dark when you're trying to, especially when you're streaming content. Like, no one is sitting in a fully blacked out room while doing content. Like, you still at least have the screen and you need to be able to see what's going on. So that's good to know. Caleb, are there filters to make you look better? Well, you look great already. I already know, because everyone in the camo community looks great just the way they are. But we have had requests for touch-up filters, these sort of skin smoothing ones that we may or may not be working on. So maybe there will be one day. Maybe there will be. So Brusco saying that you use them for warmth and sharpness. Leonard Zero Johnson, can you still use stream elements for overlays? Yes, and actually One of the improvements in this update is that we had an issue with resizing some of the stream elements overlays, not all of them, but some of them. And in some of them that I have tested, that issue has been fixed. I would love to know, please give the stream elements overlays a try if you've run into issues with them before in the past. This update does have some fixes regarding web overlays, so hopefully they will perform a little bit better. They have for the ones that I've tested. I'm planning to do a little bit more testing that I'll probably share in the office hours next month and maybe do some demoing. But yeah, stream elements overlays should be working better. And the resizing issue that a lot of our friends were running into should be resolved. We can only know which overlays are working or not working if y'all reach out to us. So just a reminder that if y'all do run into issues, please let us know at support@ringcubebait.com. But there were a big handful of improvements that went out in this update regarding streaming specifically and web overlays. So yes, you can use stream elements overlays, and I have already had a better experience with them since this update. All right, Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen says you would use the streaming one. That's good to know. I like the streaming ones for sure. So Saeed, wasn't there a live preview for the filters? What a great comment. That live preview feature is in our Camo Studio for desktop app. I have been pushing the product team to bring it to iPad. Hopefully they will, because I think it's most useful to be able to see what the filters look like in your scene, live preview. That is the best way to use filters. So I'm really glad you brought that up. I'm definitely letting the product team know that that people want the live filters on Camo Studio for iPad as well. And Saeed also says, please no bunny ear filters. What do you have against bunny ears? What do you have against bunny ears? Okay, Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen says, the feature I was talking about earlier was screen sharing if possible. So we haven't made any changes to screen sharing yet, but we have been working on some things to improve the screen sharing experience, because I know we get a lot of feedback about it being a little bit hard to get right. So we didn't share any updates in this. We didn't share any screen sharing updates in this particular update, but we are working on some improvements there, and hopefully we can share those sooner than later as well. All right. Thank you guys so much for being so engaging in the chat and sharing your feedback about what you think. It's really helpful, and I go through all of the live streams again to review what's in the chat, and I do notes and I share them to the product team. And when I say I do notes and share them to the product team, I really just annoy them with requests from you guys that I pass off as mine, so they just get annoyed at me, not at you guys. All right, let's take a look at the backgrounds. So, as a part of the updated gallery experience that I mentioned earlier, you can use these buttons up here to tab between the galleries. This is the background gallery. You can also get to the background gallery a few different ways, which I will show off in a second. But the explore section for backgrounds is also really exciting, because we have just new default backgrounds that I feel like make a little bit more sense. They're just like a little bit more curated. This home and work vibe are scenes that sort of look like you're at home or you're at work. And as same with these, you can just hit the little download button to add them to your gallery. And if you change your mind, you can delete it. And then the icon changes back. Nature and city scenes. Let me know what y'all think of these, because these nature and city scenes, I'll be perfectly honest, I feel like they look a little depressing. They're like kind of gloomy. I have shared that with the team. I was like, can we get some, like, I don't know, nature and city scenes that don't all look blue and gloomy? But maybe y'all like them. If y'all like them, then my feedback doesn't matter, because y'all's feedback is what matters. So I know we are planning to update the explore sections in all of in the backgrounds and in the scenes especially. But yeah, I would love to know what y'all think of these. And we have like these abstract ones. So where are we using backgrounds in Camo Studio for iPad? What a great question. Because most scenes are covered. We have backgrounds here in the layers tab, but most of the time it's covered by whatever else you have on your scene. So it's like, wait, why did y'all add a bunch of backgrounds? No one can see them. But the backgrounds are actually for green screen as well. So let me switch to a gaming scene. Sorry, I'm getting over a little bit of a cough. I tried not to cough into the mic. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Okay, so like let's take a look at this picture-in-picture scene, which is one of our new default scenes. So you can also use backgrounds here. I'm the secondary video source. And if you go to replace mode, which is our virtual green screen, it will green screen you. And so this is where I feel like the backgrounds do work a little bit, are a little bit more functional. So I really like this dim spark one. Here, let me make my camera a little bit bigger so y'all can actually see it. Oop, did not mean to take that to full screen. There we go. Yeah, I like this dim spark one a lot. I also am a big fan of light sparks. So can y'all tell that I like sparks? I like the bokeh bubbles. This is where I feel like our backgrounds really shine. And say if I was using this frozen tundra one, I would match my lighting in the back to be blue so that it matches the background a little bit better. But this is also where you can get to the gallery from, the background gallery, from the replace mode. Background gallery. Takes us right back to the gallery. All right. Voss's Vegetarian Kitchen, thank you for agreeing with me. I was not saying that they're not good backgrounds, but when you look at them all together in the explore section, it's just all together they look kind of, you know, a little bit gloomy. Leonard Zero Johnson Johnson, is there a way to have a switcher to fade to another scene? We've gotten a lot of requests for scene transitions, and we aren't ready to share that as a feature yet, but they are highly requested. They are on the roadmap. We do hope to add them at least like a more basic one. Like we might not have every transition under the sun at first, but I hope that we can at least have like, you know, the basic ones like crossfade, dip to black. Yeah, I definitely, I'm looking for scene transitions as well. It's so hot in New York right now. I'm hoping that y'all can't hear my air conditioner that's like blowing right at me, because otherwise I would totally melt. I'm coughing because I visited a friend that has a baby, and every time I go visit my friend with babies, I feel like I always catch a little cough afterwards. So, Aiden Fitzpatrick, good to see you in the chat, sir. Love the dim spark situation. I agree. I like the sparks. They're cute. They're cute. And Saeed, you are right. It is chroma key. It is not green screen. Thank you for that call out. I should be using the correct terminology. Dust Town looks like it's The Walking Dead. Yo, that's so funny. All right, let me switch to the Dust Town right now. Yo, look, isn't this so funny? Like, I'm playing like this cute, overcooked game, but I have this Dust Town in the background that looks like The Walking Dead. It's Aiden. I hope you are hearing this feedback about our backgrounds being a little bit on the gloomy side. But yeah. All right, let me switch back to dim sparks. Let's see, this is much brighter. Dim sparks or light sparks. There we go. Team dim sparks or light sparks? Let me know in the chat. But for now, I will go back to normal to finish walking through the rest of the update, because I did not realize we are already at 2:39 and I only have 20 more minutes. Although I didn't set a time for this, I try to keep things within an hour. So, but yeah, all right. What else is new? What a great question. Saeed, babies, if they didn't get me sick every time I visited them, I might not think that they were the worst, but I am like two for three times this year. Okay, the UI refresh, which hopefully makes the entire app organization a little bit better. Just gonna talk through the changes a little bit. Before, in the navigation, left-hand navigation tab, we had separate tabs for your primary and your secondary video sources. And now we have put both video sources under one video tab just to declutter that top menu bar a little bit. And it works in the same way though. So I think it does help the organization. It just, when you are in this video tabs, you know you are looking at video settings. Before, when it was 2 tabs, it was fine, but like I said, we're gonna continue to add to Camo Studio for iPad and Camo Studio for desktop. So we did this UI refresh to help keep things organized, not just for this update, but for moving forward as well. The audio tab has also gotten an update. This master audio slider that used to be in this top menu bar has moved into this audio tab, which is where all of the audio settings sit. I do want to address some questions we've gotten from YouTube and our community in general. People have asked if audio mixing is going to get a little bit better because of the previous iPad OS limitations. In the WWDC keynote, iPad OS 26 has some changes regarding audio and how the iPad processes it. We are looking into it, and we hope to make the most out of those changes in iPad OS 26, although I don't want to set the expectations too high. So that's all I'm allowed to say for now. But we are aware that there are some changes coming to audio in iPad OS 26, and we definitely are going to take an earnest look and see what we can do to optimize the app for those iPad OS updates. What is the update count at? Or did we lose count? Because I did not mean to say it that many times just now. Okay. Next up in the UI refresh is, as a part of the mission to declutter the left-hand navigation, we have moved this scene thumbnail and menu into just the layers tab. It used to be in the entire left-hand navigation panel, no matter which tab you were on. We felt like that was a little bit excessive, and so now it's in the layers tab because this is where you make all your changes and label. I just feel like it's like the editing tab where you're editing things regarding the scenes, you're naming them. It didn't need to be in every single tab, and just like cleans up the overall vibe and keeps everything in one place. All of the previous features are still here, and update thumbnail has gotten a little bit of an update. There's more options for updating your thumbnail. I'm curious if you guys like the auto update thumbnail feature, or if you prefer to not have it auto update. I tend to turn it off. If you turn auto update on, like it is right now, I don't remember if it's every 30 seconds or every 60 seconds, but, oh, okay, so maybe not even 30 seconds. But do you see how the thumbnail updated on its own after I changed it to auto update? But also, I don't know if y'all can tell, but that's not a very flattering shot of me, because it looks like I'm in the middle of talking. Not very cute. I turn auto update off for that reason specifically. But like I said, it's not important what I like. It's important what you guys like and what y'all feel like is useful. I do feel like the auto update feature has its functions, but I'm someone that likes to keep my thumbnails clean and simple. So I prefer to turn auto update off. But if you like having the thumbnail auto update, then definitely keep it on. But yeah, these are just sort of different ways that you can update it. Use preview is like the most straightforward one. So remember how I look kind of like I'm in the middle of talking in that auto update one? If I make a cute pose and hit use preview, it updates to my cute pose instead of a thumbnail with a frame of me in the middle of talking. But you do want to make sure audio auto update is off. Otherwise, I think it will continue to update automatically. Okay. By the way, I did also just want to mention that you can also update your thumbnails from here, the scene panel. We have a lot of different ways to get to the same feature here in Camo. Sorry about that. Just gonna check in on the chat a little bit. I'm allergic to kids. It's not my fault. Baby blame. Aiden, I know you know what I'm talking about because you have a couple of them. Anthony says Team Dim Sparks. All right. I do feel like the blue matches my vibe a little bit better than the pink. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I need a quick mute button. I don't have it set up at the moment. Okay, Leonard Zero Johnson says, will there be something to where we can edit our background picture to how we want it? Could you clarify your question? Because you can update your... You can upload your own background, not from the gallery, but from here, camera 2, right? Yes. Okay. So if you are on the chroma key mode, you can upload your own file. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but if not, please, if you could clarify your question a little bit, I'll be able to better answer it. But you can add your own backgrounds if that was the question. But if not, let me know and I'll try again. All right. And Sia, he was here. He is here. Oh, there he goes. Put it on the poll. Are babies the worst? I did not say babies are the worst. I just said I get sick when I visit them. Okay. Kale Virel, the Virel Saga. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it's great to see you here in the Camo live stream. I think this is the first time I've seen you join us. Let's take a look at the comment. I'm getting started streaming and want to use Camo Studio on iPad. The only concern I had after watching the tutorial was that you have to buy a mixer to plug in multiple audio devices. So yes, that is one of the limitations of using iPad. There are a few different workarounds that we have on our channel. If you use Camo Camera, that's another way to add one, but I will check out our YouTube channel. There's a couple of different videos about how you can mix audio without actually needing it. I think there's just one, just kidding. There's two. One video about how to mix audio using an audio mixer and one video about how to mix audio not using an audio mixer. That option might work for you. It also might not be the answer to getting a mixer because that is still currently the recommended way to do it. I know that I'm someone that is used to using an audio mixer, so I feel like it makes sense, but I know that a lot of people hope that we can build in audio mixing into Camo Studio for iPad. That's right, Ty. It's only my room background if Pikachu is there. That's actually a great request. I might have to take some glamour shots and submit them to our design team. Dim Shady, Dim Allen. Brusco, you're having way too much fun in the chat. This is amazing. Yo, Dim Duncan. Yes, Dim Duncan. Above the dim file. Dim Hardaway. Oh my god. Aiden, I'm sorry for all the sports ball talk. These are all mostly basketball references. We're talking about the Dim Sparks though, so it is still relevant. Dimmy! Okay, I'm sorry. Brusco says, I went over 22.5 and he stopped counting after that because all bets were closed. So whoever took the over on me saying the word update at least 22.5 times, you guys have won. Thank you. Pikachu is my streaming buddy. I feel better when I can see him in the background. My gamer tag and my own personal socials are all Pikachu, so. They do. They give me a long list of things not to say on the stream. That's why, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm like working like my politician speak, where I'm like working around certain topics in the most diplomatic way as possible. Aiden, please. It's all vibe coded. All vibe coded. Use auto update at your own risk. That, I'm stealing that, Ty. I am going to say that every time I talk about auto update from now on, is use auto update at your own risk. I don't know why. It loves to pick shots of you where your mouth is half open in the middle of a sentence. I don't know why. So yeah. All right. By the way, I see that Sergey has made it into the chat again per Aiden's request. All right, so there is one more feature that I definitely want to make sure I show you guys before we wrap today. And that would be our new in-app feedback feature, because we feel like I get a lot of feedback when I talk to you guys on the streams, but overall we're looking for even more feedback. And like I said, sometimes when the feedback comes from me, the dev team doesn't take it seriously. They're like, that's just Eden on her content creator planet, and she's just giving us a bunch of feature requests. But now that we have a built-in feedback feature, they will know that these feature requests are not just coming from me. If you hit this settings icon here in the top right, there is now this button called Send Feedback. And if you click it, this form pops up, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest, positive feedback only. Send all hate mail to Aiden Fitzpatrick's DMs, please. Just kidding. We want your earnest feedback, whether it's positive or negative, or if it's a feature request. We want all of the feedback. It really helps us shape the app and let us know what we need to work on next. But yeah, just pop in your email address, eden@reincubate.com, and then describe your feedback, and then you hit send, and it goes straight. All right, well, you do have to fill in all the fields before you can actually send it. But this is the most straightforward way to get feedback to us through the app. We thought we'd try an in-app feedback feature. Who knows what can of worms it might open. But we wanted to remove the barrier that separates an app from the team working on it, and hopefully this in-app feedback feature will make it really easy for you guys to share things, especially as you run into them. You say you're checking out our backgrounds and you're like, wow, I love the idea, but these nature and city scenes are so gloomy. Just hit that send feedback button and be like, yo, your scenes are kind of gloomy and we would appreciate it if you brighten things up a little bit. But yeah, no, honestly, we just wanted to remove a level of a barrier. Yeah, we wanted to remove the level of a barrier of communication between us and you guys. So hopefully this send feedback feature will be a hit and that it will not all be hate mail, but if it is, we are ready to take it on. And I also just realized there's one more thing that I wanted to go over. So the send feedback was not the last item. The profile manager is. So profiles used to be in the left-hand navigation panel here when we used to have the scene thumbnail in the entire left-hand navigation. We've moved that just to the layers tab, but where did my resolution and frame rate go? It is now moved to the top menu bar in this, in the right-hand side. I get right and left confused sometimes, so just double checking. Yes, this is where you can find your resolution and frame rate profiles. We've built in a few commonly used ones for recording, streaming, 4K, vertical. Earlier, James Hicks asked about vertical templates, which we don't have any yet. Aiden, if you're still listening, people would love some vertical scene templates. So hopefully we'll get some of those added. But yeah, this is where you can change your resolution, frame rate, and aspect ratio. We have the ones built in, but to customize and make your own, hit Manage Profiles, this little plus button, and you can set a title, change the resolution and aspect ratio. There's a big list. If there are any missing from this list, let us know and we will try to get them added. Frame rate can be calibrated here, and then you hit save, and that's where your new profile is. I don't currently need a new profile, so I'm not going to set it up just to spam, but yeah, that's the new profile manager. And hopefully now I have walked through where things have moved to and that y'all don't have any issues finding anything that y'all were using before. Again, I know I've said this like a lot of times already, but this is the first update we've shared in a while. We do hope to share more of them more often, but let us know what you think. And if we're on the right track, use that send feedback feature or write into support@reincubate.com or send all your hate mail straight to Aiden's DMs. Your pick, really. So that's what's new. I already talked about some of the fixes that also went into this update, which were mostly regarding streaming, which I know Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen said you were still running into a streaming error. Hopefully we can get that sorted out, Sergey, in the chat. Streaming errors. Web overlays have gotten some improvements as well. So please, if you've had issues with web overlays in the past, give them a try again. I've had a lot of luck with the update and getting the especially stream elements overlays to resize properly in the app as they should. So those are the main, that's basically it. We made it through the update changes in 1 hour. The full release notes are available on our site. If you search release notes on our site, you'll be able to find them. I'll also update the description of this live stream with our blog and our changelog, our blog and our release notes, so y'all can find all the information there as well, especially for our friends catching the replay. And gonna wrap by just checking in on the chat a little bit more. Thank you, Brusco. Dev team, take me seriously. I speak for the audience. I speak for you guys. I speak for the community. But they don't want to listen to me. It's feedback. Yes. In-app feedback option. Okay, well, that's not true. I have not done that specific one, but I may have said there were certain features that the community would hate before y'all even told me that y'all hated it. But yeah. And that's right. Aiden gets the hate mail. Nice mail to Eden. But I always like to make the joke that that's why Aiden hired me, because Eden sounds so much like Aiden that y'all might just end up sending all the hate mail to me, which is part of my job as the community person. So all feedback welcome, positive or negative, but please don't make me cry. All right, y'all have been very awesome today. I'm so glad that you guys have hung out in the chat and shared your feedback about our new scenes, our backgrounds. Hopefully y'all give the new explore section a try. We really want to flesh it out more and add more into the explore section, especially more scenes. I will definitely let the team know that the streaming scenes, the gamer tag one was a hit. Yeah, let's take a look at this one again. Oop, here we go. Oh, one last thing is that now with this update, you can also rearrange your scenes and put them into order. So previously you had to set up your scenes in order, but now you can move them around. I knew there was one more thing that I wanted to go over. So sorry if you've missed it because it's the end of the stream, but yes, you can now rearrange your scenes and put them in whatever order you like. That was something that bugged me endlessly, and they finally let me rearrange the order of my scenes. But yeah, initial feedback on this one, Aiden, is that the little circle is a little too small. So like you can barely even see. Oh, okay, well, no, that's way too big. No one needs to see my face that big in a gaming scene. But I accidentally double tapped to take it to full screen. Now I have to, did not mean to hide it. Now I need to, okay, it's not locked, so. Is this bug? Did I just find a bug? There we go. Is if we make the circle a little bit bigger, that might be productive. All right. See, Sergey, they stopped counting after 23. So we probably did, though. We probably did. And yes, I will make a specific commitment to a date on the next update. That's my favorite, absolute favorite. Briscoe says, people do simultaneous Twitch and YouTube screens. Yo, I know. Multi-streaming, we've gotten a ton of requests for it, and hopefully we will get that added sooner than later. I also, thank you for that reminder, because that also reminds me that I need to do more multi-streaming. I don't know why I didn't stream this to LinkedIn also. I just didn't. But yeah, I need to do more multi-streaming. I need to multi-stream to Twitch too. So thank you for that reminder, and we should add that as a feature as well. Shh, Ty, come on, don't tell. Like, can't tell people that I broke it. And yes, awesome. Aiden says he heard multi-stream. All right, guys, we are at the end of our hour. Casual games. I'm so happy to see you and hope that you guys will come hang out soon. Again, I'm hoping to add more live streams to our rotation. Some of them I might be reviving our panel shows. Still trying to get Aiden to approve my casual hangout gaming streams on Fridays, but we'll see. But yes, thank you everyone for joining, and send us feedback. Send us feedback.